So our next question is a really good one. Whoever asked this said, why don't we go to God for help first, even when our faith is stronger than those around us? I think what this person is kind of getting at is this reality. For some reason, as human beings, we have a desire or an inclination to figure things out ourselves first, to struggle through it, to try to come up with whatever solution is, plan A, plan B, whatever it is. And we stress about that, we worry about that, we finagle things in order to figure things out. And that's our typical first resort. And oftentimes it seems like going to God is a last resort. Why is that? Well, to be honest with you, I think it has to do with our own pride and arrogance. We're really good at thinking we can figure things out on our own. And oftentimes it takes us getting to the end of our ropes to a point where we realize we can't figure it out on our own before we turn to God. This is one of those things about learning how to be mature followers of Christ, learning how to grow more and more in that relationship is the more we do that, the quicker we are to turn to God. Our first resort, the first place we should be turning when we have struggles and issues in life is God. And it's a matter of overcoming our own sinful nature to change that. How do we change that? Well, we change it by being intentionally seeking out God, making that conversation, that relationship our priority when things are good, makes it more likely that when things start turning bad, we'll go to God first. The reality is God is the ultimate source and place for our life, for understanding our life and knowing how to move forward, what to do next, and even finding any sort of faith and hope in life is turning to God. So why don't we do it? We do it because we're human. We do it because that's just part of our sinful nature. Now, the more and more we become like Christ, the more we allow God's Spirit to work in our life, then less and less we look like that, and we're more likely to go to God first. Again, it's all about intentionality. It's about what we make our priority. It's about who we turn to first. So brothers and sisters, I guess I'm going to take this as an opportunity for a mini sermon and tell you should turn to God first. And then I'm going to turn this around and say, Corey, you should turn to God first because I'm just as bad at it. It's something we all need to work on, and it's something that we can encourage one another to do together. A question that's really similar to that one, that's kind of a follow-up. Why are we so hesitant to bear our own crosses? I think what this person is asking is why don't we want to deal with the struggle and suffering that comes in life? Well, nobody likes to struggle. Nobody likes to suffer. Nobody wants to take on that pain and struggle of life. We just don't want to. Our survival instinct tells us we should do everything possible to not have pain and suffering. But Jesus Christ himself told us that following him means that we will take up our crosses and follow him. It means that we will do what's necessary, even if it means sacrificing, even if it means struggling. We will take our crosses and follow him no matter what, because we know that when we do, our crosses aren't as heavy. And in fact, what we find is when we take up our crosses and follow him and trust in God, Jesus will take our burdens over for us. Psalm 55:22 says, turn your burdens over to the Lord and he will take care of you. He will never let a righteous person stumble. He will help us no matter what. And above all, we have to remember this promise of God from Romans chapter 8, verse 18. It says, I consider that our present suffering, the crosses we bear right now, are nothing compared to the glory that will be revealed in us. What we go through now, no matter how difficult it may seem, is nothing compared to the joy, the glory, the blessings that we will receive when Christ is fulfilled in us. That will be an amazing day, and that will put everything else in perspective. So when we're called to carry our crosses and follow Jesus, we shouldn't look at that as a burden too much to bear, but we should look at it as an opportunity to honor God, to live out the life that he has called us to trust in him fully, and to show others what it looks like to live a life of faith in the midst of our struggles.